Welcome to the world of science fiction stories, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Enjoy the listening. A warship from the shadows, and it's humanity's only chance to survive. The first sign of the anomaly appeared as a blip on the long-range scanners of the UEEG Vanguard, one of humanity's last operational warships. Captain Kieran Holt leaned forward in his command chair, eyes narrowing as he studied the sensor feed. "Lieutenant, confirm that reading. Is it a glitch, or are we actually seeing something out there?" His voice was steady, but a flicker of unease gnawed at the edge of his mind. The bridge of the Vanguard was quiet except for the faint hum of the ship's systems. Most of the crew were seasoned veterans, hardened by the ongoing war against the Zarathan Dominion, an empire of reptilian warlords that had spent the last 20 years trying to wipe humanity off the galactic map. "Sir, it's no glitch," Lieutenant Aoki confirmed, fingers flying across her console. "We're detecting a warship of unknown origin approximately 100,000 km off our port bow. No known transponder codes, no energy signature that matches any recorded vessel." Holt exhaled slowly, put it on screen. The main view screen flickered, revealing a warship unlike anything they'd ever seen. Its hull was a deep matte black, almost as if it absorbed the light around it. The design was sleek, angular, predatory, yet it lacked the aggressive protrusions of Zarathan warships, which were adorned with spikes and bladed armor. "Who the hell are you?" Holt murmured to himself, then louder, "Hail them." A tense silence followed as the comms officer sent out a standard first contact transmission. Seconds stretched into an eternity. Then, without warning, the mystery warship moved. "No engine burn detected, but it's closing in," Aoki reported, her voice edged with tension. Holt stood, shields up, weapons. Before he could finish, the ship transmitted a signal, not an attack, not a warning, just a simple text message appearing on their screen. "Humanity under threat. We are here to help." A chill ran through Holt. "What the hell does that mean?" he muttered. Then the Zarathan fleet jumped in. 6 battleships, their crimson hulls glinting against the backdrop of deep space, emerged from slipstream, plasma cannons charged, shields powered up. There was no time for negotiation, no chance of retreat. The Dominion had found them. "Battle stations," Holt barked, but before the Vanguard could react, the unknown warship acted first. It moved like nothing Holt had ever seen. One moment it was idle, the next it streaked forward, its black hull cutting through space like a phantom. Beams of blue-white energy erupted from its sleek frame, slicing through the first Zarathan battleship as if it were made of paper. The alien vessel split apart, its explosion momentarily illuminating the void. The Vanguard's bridge was silent in shock. "What the hell is that ship?" someone whispered. The unknown warship kept moving, weaving through enemy fire like it could see the future. It struck with pinpoint accuracy, dismantling the Zarathan formation in a matter of seconds. "5 enemy ships down," Aoki reported, her voice breathless. "The last one's running." The final Zarathan battleship turned to flee, but the black warship didn't let it escape. A final pulse of energy shot forth, reducing the enemy vessel to dust, and then silence. Holt stared at the wreckage, then at the mysterious warship that had just saved them. A second message appeared on screen. "The war is not over. You must survive. More are coming." Holt's stomach tightened. Whatever this thing was, whoever was behind it, they knew something. And if they were right, this war was far from finished. He straightened. "Hail them again." The ship didn't answer. It simply turned and vanished into the void, and the only thing left was the warning it had given. More are coming. The bridge remained silent for what felt like an eternity. The only sound was the quiet hum of the ship's systems and the steady beeping of the sensor consoles. Every officer on the Vanguard was staring at the debris field where 6 Zarathan battleships had just been turned to dust. No one spoke, as if afraid that doing so would somehow summon another enemy fleet. Captain Kieran Holt exhaled and turned to Aoki. "Did we get any readings on that ship? Energy signatures, drive type, weapon systems, anything?" Aoki's fingers flew over her console, but she shook her head. "Negative, sir. Whatever tech they're using, it doesn't match anything in our database. Their energy output was off the charts, but there was no heat signature, no standard propulsion readings. It's like they were moving without engines. "That's impossible," Commander Patel, the ship's XO, muttered. "Everything in space needs propulsion unless they're breaking every law of physics we understand," Holt finished. Patel's frown deepened. "If they wanted to destroy us, they could have. Instead, they helped us, and now they're gone." Holt turned back to the view screen, staring into the empty void where the mysterious warship had disappeared. He felt a strange unease creeping into his gut. Something about this didn't sit right. The Zarathan were aggressive, yes, but they weren't reckless. Sending 6 battleships to hunt down the Vanguard was overkill, almost as if they had been trying to wipe them out before something else could interfere. And then there was that message: "More are coming." "More of what?" Holt murmured to himself. "Captain," Aoki spoke up, "we're picking up a residual signal from the ship. It left something behind." Holt snapped his attention to her. "Show me." A new set of coordinates flashed onto the screen. A point in deep space, far beyond the reach of human colonies or Zarathan-controlled sectors. "That's a dead zone," Patel said, folding his arms. "No known outposts, no habitable planets, nothing." "Then why point us there?" Holt asked. No one had an answer. A low, urgent beep interrupted the conversation. The comms officer, Ensign Carter, turned in his seat. "Sir, we're receiving a high-priority transmission from Fleet Command." Holt nodded. "Patch it through." The screen flickered, revealing the grim face of Admiral Catherine Briggs, one of the highest-ranking officers in the United Earth Government's Navy. She looked exhausted, deep lines on her face, her normally sharp eyes darkened by fatigue. "Captain Holt," she began, skipping any pleasantries, "we have a situation." "Understood, Admiral," Holt replied. "If this is about the Zarathan ambush, we handled it, though not alone." Briggs narrowed her eyes. "Explain." Holt quickly summarized the encounter: the sudden attack, the unknown warship, its impossible firepower, and the warning it had left behind. By the time he was finished, Briggs was silent. "Admiral," Holt prompted. She exhaled, rubbing her temples. "Captain, we've been getting reports, unconfirmed at first, but this changes everything. You're not the first to see that ship." Holt exchanged glances with Patel. "You mean this thing has appeared elsewhere?" Briggs nodded grimly. 3 other engagements across different sectors. Each time a human vessel was under attack, each time that warship intervened, and then it disappeared. "Admiral," Patel said carefully, "do we have any idea who's behind it?" Briggs hesitated for a moment. "No, but that's not the part that worries me." She leaned forward, her voice dropping slightly. 2 hours ago, we lost contact with Outpost Theta 9. No distress signal, no debris, just silence. The station housed over 10,000 personnel, Captain, and now it's gone." A heavy weight settled in Holt's chest. "Gone? You think the Zarathan?" "We don't know," Briggs interrupted. "But here's the thing, Theta 9 was close to the coordinates your mystery ship just sent you." Silence fell over the bridge. Everyone was thinking the same thing. If that warship was trying to help them, was it leading them to the truth, or was it leading them into something worse? Briggs's voice cut through the tension. "I need the Vanguard to investigate. You're the only ship in range, but be careful, Holt. We have no idea what you're walking into." Holt nodded. "Understood, Admiral. We'll depart immediately." The transmission ended. For a long moment no one spoke, then Holt straightened. "Set course for the coordinates." Aoki hesitated. "Sir, if Theta 9 is gone, whatever did that could still be there." "I know," Holt said, his jaw tightening, "but we need answers, and we're going to get them." The Vanguard's engines roared to life, and as they jumped into slipstream, one question remained: what was waiting for them in the dark? The transition into slipstream was smooth, but the tension on the bridge was anything but. The crew of the Vanguard had fought the Zarathan for years, had faced overwhelming odds and survived, but this was different. This wasn't just war, this was something unknown, something that defied reason. Captain Kieran Holt sat in his chair, fingers steepled, eyes locked on the forward display. The unknown warship had left them coordinates near Theta 9, an outpost that had simply vanished. No wreckage, no distress calls, just silence. And that warship, whatever it was, it had known something. ETA to the coordinates, he asked. 3 minutes, Ayaki responded, her voice tight. Bringing long-range sensors online now. The screen flickered with data. Patel leaned forward. Anything. Ayaki hesitated. I don't know what I'm looking at. Holt frowned. Clarify. Ayaki tapped at her console, frustration creeping into her voice. Sir, I'm picking up something. Energy readings are erratic. There's no debris, no signs of the station, just an anomaly. A massive one. Visual. Ayaki patched the data through, and the main screen filled with an image that made the entire bridge go silent. A black void. Not the empty darkness of space, not the absence of light, but something deeper, something unnatural. A perfect sphere of absolute nothingness floating where outpost Theta 9 should have been. Its edges shimmered slightly, as if reality itself struggled to define it. A heavy weight settled in Holt's chest. What the hell is that? Patel whispered. No one had an answer. Aoki swallowed hard. Sir, this anomaly, it's radiating energy signatures across the entire spectrum. Some of them match known slipstream fluctuations, others are completely foreign, but one thing is clear. Theta 9 isn't here. That thing is. Holt clenched his jaw. Any sign of our mystery warship? Aoki scanned the readings again, shaking her head. Negative, but if it wanted us here, I don't think it's done with us yet. A chill crept down Holt's spine. Sir, Patel said, his voice low, this could be a weapon, a new kind of Zarathan attack, something we've never seen before. Holt shook his head. Number, if they had something like this, they'd have used it by now. This is something else. A sudden alarm blared. Carter, the comms officer, turned sharply in his chair. Sir, we're picking up a transmission. Holt's pulse quickened. From where? Carter hesitated, fingers flying over the console. That's just it, sir. I don't know. It's coming from inside the anomaly. Ayaki whipped her head around. That's not possible. There's nothing inside. There can't be. But the message played anyway. A voice, distorted, mechanical, yet unmistakably human. Help us. A heartbeat of silence, then the voice came again, layered as if 100 different versions of the same message were speaking at once. Help us. We are still here. Holt felt a cold sweat on the back of his neck. That's Aoki's voice broke. Sir, I ran the audio through the database. That's from Outpost Theta 9. Patel stiffened, but the station is gone. Carter turned, his face pale. Then what's inside that thing? The ship's proximity alarm suddenly screamed. Ayaki gasped. Sir, something just came out of the anomaly. On the view screen, the impossible happened. A ship emerged from the black void slowly, hesitantly, like a wounded animal crawling out of its den. Its hull was shattered, half-melted, covered in deep scars. It should have been dead in space, and yet somehow it moved. Holt recognized the markings instantly. It was one of theirs, a human warship, the Nightingale, a ship that had been reported destroyed 3 years ago. Sir, Aoki whispered. We have a ghost ship, Holt swallowed hard. Open a channel, he ordered. Carter hesitated. Captain, what if it's not them anymore? Holt's gut twisted. There was only one way to find out. Do it. The channel opened, and the voice that came through chilled them all to the bone. Captain Holt, it rasped, please don't let it take us back. And then, before Holt could respond, the black void pulsed, and something else started coming through. The anomaly pulsed again, a slow, deliberate rhythm, as if something inside was breathing. The Nightingale drifted closer, its engines flickering weakly like a dying heartbeat. On the bridge of the Vanguard, no one moved. Sir, Aoki's voice was barely above a whisper. We're picking up life signs aboard the Nightingale, but there. She hesitated, staring at her screen as if she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Holt's jaw tightened. They're what, Lieutenant? Ayaki turned to face him, her expression pale. They're wrong. There are fluctuations in their vitals, like they're shifting between states of existence. Some of them are reading as dead, others aren't fully human anymore. The words sent a chill through the bridge. Patel exhaled sharply. Captain, we need to think very carefully about what we do next. But before Holt could respond, the comms crackled again. The voice from the Nightingale returned, distorted, desperate. "Please don't let it take us back. It wants us back." Holt clenched his fists. "Who are we speaking to?" For a moment, silence. Then the voice returned, weaker this time. "Commander Kieran Holt, UEG Naval Service, serial number 57209. A deathly silence fell over the bridge. Patel turned to Holt, his face rigid. "Sir, that's your name." Holt felt the blood drain from his face. "No," he said, shaking his head. "That's impossible." But then Carter gasped. "Captain, I ran an ID check. The Nightingale's crew manifest. There was a Commander Kieran Holt aboard when it was lost 3 years ago." A cold, suffocating weight pressed on Holt's chest. "You're saying there's another me on that ship?" Carter nodded, his face pale. "Yes, sir." Holt turned back to the screen. The Nightingale loomed before them, its broken hull barely holding together. It looked like a corpse of a ship, something that had been dead for years but refused to stay that way. Then the anomaly pulsed again, and something else started coming through. The void ripped open like a gaping wound in space. The darkness spilled outward, writhing tendrils of black mist curling at the edges of reality. The ship's lights flickered. The air on the bridge suddenly felt thinner. "Captain," Aoki shouted, "something is emerging." Holt's heart pounded as the readings flooded in. A shape moved within the darkness. No, many shapes, jagged, insect-like figures that shimmered like ghosts, their forms never staying solid for more than a second. Limbs twitched at unnatural angles. Eyes, hundreds of them, burning with cold, violet light, blinked in and out of existence. Patel took a step back. "Those are not Zarathan." Holt's fingers curled into fists. "Weapons online now." Aoki's hands flew over the console. "Sir, targeting systems are struggling to lock onto them. It's like they aren't fully here." Carter's voice was barely steady. "Incoming transmission from the Nightingale again." Holt turned to the screen. "You have to leave," the voice pleaded. "You don't understand what you found." The comms crackled, distorting. "We went in, we shouldn't have gone in." Another voice joined it, a different one, layered with something inhuman. "Return, the cycle must continue." A low, droning hum vibrated through the Vanguard, shaking the walls. The lights flickered again, every fiber of Holt's being screamed at him to run. But then the anomaly pulsed again, stronger this time, and suddenly the unknown warship reappeared. It came out of nowhere, just like before, cutting through space like a black blade. Its presence sent the insect-like shapes scattering like cockroaches fleeing from the light. The Vanguard's sensors flared. "They're transmitting a message," Aoki said. Holt's eyes locked onto the screen as the message came through. "They are not your enemy. They are not your allies. Do not enter the void." Holt's mind raced. Then what the hell are we supposed to do? The mysterious ship didn't answer. Instead, it turned its weapons on the anomaly itself and fired. A brilliant pulse of energy erupted from its hull, slamming into the black sphere. The entire anomaly shuddered, its edges rippling like a disturbed pool of water. The jagged creatures screamed, not in sound, but in a way that resonated inside Holt's skull, a deep and unnatural violation of thought. And then the anomaly began pulling itself inward. "No way," Aoki breathed. "It's collapsing." The Nightingale lurched. The ship trembled violently as if something inside it was fighting to escape. The voice came again, but this time it was warped beyond recognition, stretched, fragmented, wrong. "We don't belong here. We never belonged here." And then, in an instant, the void imploded. A deafening silence followed. The Nightingale was gone. The creatures were gone. The black sphere that had swallowed Outpost Theta 9 was gone. Only empty space remained. Holt stared at the screen, unable to process what had just happened. His hands felt numb. His breathing was too shallow. Aoki's voice broke the silence. "Sir, what just happened?" Before Holt could respond, the mysterious warship sent one final message. "It is not over." And then, just like before, it vanished, leaving the Vanguard alone in the darkness. The silence on the bridge was suffocating. The Vanguard drifted in the empty void where the anomaly had collapsed, its crew too stunned to speak. Holt exhaled slowly, forcing himself to breathe. His fingers tightened around the armrests of his chair. Status report, he said, voice steady despite the unease clawing at his chest. Aoki's hands flew over the console. Scans show nothing, sir. The anomaly is completely gone, no residual energy, no distortions. It's like it was never there. That ship, Patel muttered, the black warship, it did that. It knew exactly what to do. Holt nodded, and it left us with more questions than answers. He turned to Carter. Any sign of the Nightingale? Carter hesitated, checking his readouts. No, sir, it's gone. Holt's jaw clenched. He had no idea what had just happened to that ship, if it had been erased, if it had been pulled back into whatever hell it came from, or if something worse had happened to it. But one thing was certain, this wasn't over. The warning from the unknown warship echoed in his mind. It is not over. Aoki suddenly tensed. Sir, picking up a new signal, small, weak, some kind of encrypted data package. It's not from the warship. It was left behind after the anomaly collapsed. Holt straightened. Decrypt it. Aoki worked quickly. A few moments later, a screen filled with lines of garbled text. Most of it was unreadable, corrupted beyond recognition, but a small portion was intact. Patel read it aloud. Project Long Night status compromised, origin unknown, classified UEG clearance required, final warning they are coming. Holt felt the weight of those last 3 words settled deep in his bones. Patel exhaled sharply. What the hell is Project Long Night? Holt didn't know, but he sure as hell was going to find out. Set course for Earth, he ordered. Maximum speed. Patel frowned. Sir, do you think Command knows about this? Holt didn't answer immediately. Instead, he stared at the screen, at the remnants of a message someone, or something, had left for them. They know something, he said finally, and it's time we find out exactly what. The engines roared to life, and the Vanguard jumped to slipstream, heading for answers. But in the darkness of space where the anomaly had once been, something stirred, something unseen, something waiting, and it wasn't finished with humanity yet. The Vanguard hurtled through slipstream, a streak of light slicing through the void. The hum of the engines filled the ship, but on the bridge, silence reigned. Captain Kieran Holt sat in his chair, eyes locked on the encrypted message displayed on the main screen. Project Long Night status compromised, origin unknown. Classified UEG clearance required. Final warning, they are coming. The words gnawed at him. Tell me we have something, he said, his voice breaking the uneasy quiet. Aoki looked up from her station. I'm running decryption protocols now, but most of the data is corrupted. This wasn't just encrypted, it was purposely wiped before being transmitted. Someone didn't want it falling into the wrong hands. Holt exhaled, and yet someone still wanted us to see it. Patel crossed his arms. If this was UEG classified, there's no way a deep space outpost like Theta 9 should have had access to it. That station was a research hub, not a black ops facility. Carter, the comms officer, frowned. Sir, there's something else bothering me about this message. Holt turned to him. Go on. Carter hesitated before speaking. The transmission wasn't on any standard UEG channel. In fact, the encryption style doesn't match anything we've used in the last 20 years. It's like an old relic, something from a forgotten project. A deep unease settled over Holt. If the UEG buried this, then whatever Project Long Night was, it was never meant to be found, Patel muttered. And now it's compromised. Aoki's console beeped and her eyes widened. Sir, I just pulled up something strange from the metadata. She hesitated, then swallowed. This message wasn't sent from Theta 9. Holt's stomach turned. Then where did it come from? Aoki stared at her screen. According to the embedded coordinates, it came from Earth. The bridge fell silent. That's impossible, Patel said. Theta 9 was wiped out. The anomaly formed there. How the hell did the warning come from Earth? Holt didn't have an answer, but a growing sense of dread crept up his spine. How much longer until we arrive? He asked. 15 minutes, Aoki responded. Good, Holt said, standing. Because when we get there, someone at Fleet Command is going to give me some damn answers. 15 minutes later, the Vanguard dropped out of slipstream on the outskirts of the Sol system. The comforting sight of Earth, blue and vibrant against the void, filled the view screen. Around it, the familiar lattice of orbital stations, shipyards, and UEG defense platforms stood like silent sentinels. Earth traffic control is hailing us, Carter announced. Patch them through. A crisp voice filled the bridge. UEG Vanguard, this is Sol Defense. You are cleared for approach. Fleet Command has been notified of your arrival. Understood, Holt replied. We have high-priority information for Command. It's urgent. A brief pause, then. Acknowledged, Captain. You are to report directly to Admiral Briggs upon docking. Security detail will be waiting. Holt exchanged a glance with Patel. A security detail that was unusual. Something's wrong, Patel murmured. Holt nodded. Let's find out what. The Vanguard eased forward, passing the orbital defenses and docking with Fleet Command's primary station, Athena 1, a massive, heavily fortified structure that housed the UEG's highest-ranking officials. As soon as Holt and his senior officers stepped off the ship, a squad of armed security personnel was waiting. Captain Holt, one of the officers asked, visor reflecting the bright station lights. Holt nodded. That's me. Admiral Briggs is expecting you. Follow us. Minutes later, Holt and his team stood in Admiral Briggs's office, the door ceiling shut behind them. Briggs was already there, her back to them as she stared at the holographic display of the Sol system. When she finally turned, her expression was unreadable. You weren't supposed to see that message, she said flatly. Holt didn't flinch. I figured as much, but we did, Briggs exhaled sharply. Then you already know more than you should. Admiral, Patel cut in. Theta 9 is gone. The anomaly, the Nightingale, that unknown warship. What the hell is going on? What is Project Long Night? Briggs was silent for a long time. Then finally she spoke. Project Long Night was an experiment, she said. A mistake we buried decades ago. She pressed a button on her desk and the holographic display shifted. Data files, old schematics, and encrypted reports filled the air. Holt's breath caught as he recognized one of the images. It was the anomaly. We were trying to control something we didn't understand, Briggs continued. A technology we didn't create. We found something deep in the void beyond charted space, a remnant of an intelligence far beyond our own. She looked directly at Holt. It wasn't alien, Captain. It was older than the Zarathan, older than any race we've ever encountered, and it doesn't obey the rules of our universe. A chill ran down Holt's spine. What happened? He asked. Briggs's gaze darkened. We woke it up. Silence fell over the room. Briggs turned back to the hologram and her voice was quieter now. We thought we could control it, use it, but it was never meant for us. The project was shut down, every trace of it erased, she exhaled. Or so we thought.